And from Russia's increasing footprint in the Sahel, we are now shifting our focus to South Africa, where ties with Moscow are creating troubles within the Government of National Unity. South African President Cyril Ramaphosa is in Russia, attending this year's BRICS summit in the city of Kazan. On the sidelines, he met his Russian counterpart Vladimir Putin. The two leaders displayed some bonhomie with hugs and handshakes. And during talks with Putin, Ramaphosa regarded Moscow as a valued ally and friend.
So we continue to see Russia as a valued ally, as a valued friend who supported us right from the beginning.
The cordial meeting between the two leaders was seen as a sign that in its tough balancing act, South Africa could be leaning toward Russia rather than the West. But back at home, this gesture by the South African president has angered his alliance partners. South Africa's Democratic Alliance, or the DA, which is now a coalition partner of Ramaphosa's African National Congress, or the ANC, has rejected the president's stance on Moscow. Party leader John Steenhuisen, who is now South Africa's agriculture minister, said in a statement that the DA does not consider Russia or Vladimir Putin to be an ally of South Africa. He said his party firmly opposes South Africa considering an authoritarian regime as an ally, and added that such positions should be subject to full and proper debate within the government mechanisms before being announced. Now, the DA is a former opposition party in South Africa, which has now joined hands with the ruling ANC, and both the parties share different ideologies. The DA is known as a party of the rich white minority, which reflects their aspiration, while the ANC is Nelson Mandela's party, which fought apartheid in South Africa. For years, the DA remained the largest opposition party in the country. However, after this year's May elections, South Africa entered into a new era of politics. The ANC, for the very first time, lost its parliamentary majority in 30 years of rule. It was then forced to form a government of national unity, inviting all the other parties. The DA, along with a slew of other smaller parties, joined the government. Now, observers had then raised doubts on how a coalition would function, with notable ideological differences among the alliance members. The DA and the ANC have not just had different economy and social agendas, but also do not align when it comes to foreign policy. The DA has advocated a pro-West, pro-business foreign policy. On the other hand, the ANC has historically shared close ties with Moscow, which during the Soviet era lent its support to the ANC's anti-apartheid movement. Over the past few years, despite having better trade relations with the West, the Ramaphosa-led government has maintained good ties with Russia. South Africa has abstained from the UN resolutions condemning Russia's invasion in Ukraine. However, the DA has firmly denounced Russia's military offensive and has called for action holding Moscow accountable. Differences also emerged when South Africa dragged Israel to the International Court of Justice, or the ICJ, accusing it for a genocide in Gaza. The DA, which was the ANC's main rival at the time, opposed this step. However, after joining the government, it has subtly compromised its Israel stance by openly calling for a two-state solution for peace in West Asia. However, its firm stance on Moscow highlights how tricky it is going to be for Ramaphosa to balance ties with Russia and the West. So what will Cyril Ramaphosa prioritize? Appeasing his coalition partner or his foreign allies? We'll continue to track all of the developments.
Firstpost decodes the U.S. election, explains how America chooses its president. Your primer on the race to the White House. Everything you need to know about how America votes and its global implications. U.S. Election Explained. Every Monday and Thursday only on Firstpost.